Hello, family. Hey, if you know anybody out there who is still not sure about black Jews in West Africa, please share this video with them. Please, because we have some information that we want to go over with them. And first off, let's just jump right up into this very quickly here. We got a lot of information here that we want to share with you. So, first off, we have a map that was made by Alan H. Godby. This map, 1930. And it's a map here that's talking about the Yemen Jews, Falashas, Berber, Moorish, and Negro Jews, all in the continent of Africa. He has them listed here. But notice this, friends. He mentions here about the Jewish kingdom of Ghana. Let me blow this up for you. The Jewish kingdom of Ghana. Now, this was taken from a map in 1930, talking about the Jewish kingdom of Ghana by white Libyans. And when they say white Libyans, that means that they were light-skinned compared to the darker-skinned Africans in that area. But we're going to get a little bit more into this Jewish kingdom of Ghana. Let me share this with you. There's some more information that's been written about this in a book here called The Affairs of West Africa by Edmond de Morel, written in 1902. 1902, The Affairs of West Africa. Let me share some information with you. So in this book, we go over to page 130. This is chapter 16, The Fulani in West African History. It says here, the earliest mention we have of an empire existing in West Africa is contained in the Tarak, a history of the Western Sudan written in the 17th century. The empire was the Empire of Ghana, so called from its capital, Ghana, which has been identified with Walata or Beirut. The spread of the empire was enormous and extended to the Atlantic, embracing the valleys of the Senegal and the Gambia. Ghana was situate in the central province of the empire by name Bagena, the modern Bekunu, according to the Commandant Biger. The Tarak states that 22 kings had reigned in Ghana prior to the Hijra. Barth approximated the foundation of Ghana to 300 AD. It was attacked and defeated in the 8th century. This is according to the historian Leo Africanus, the writer of Cosmography and Geography of Africa that he wrote in the year 1526. Defeated by a Berber tribe, the invaders subsequently succumbing at what period is obscure to the Mandingos or Mandingo Fulani, who from its ruins constructed another empire which grew to even larger proportions, that of Meli, or Mali, as it was variously spelled. That's on page 132. It goes on to say here that Mungo Park, when writing of his experiences among the Mandingos, who appear to have been converted to Islam by the Fulani, with whom they have been in close relationship, amicable and the reverse, for many centuries, observed in a similar widespread knowledge of incidents in Old Testament history, such as the death of Abel, the lives of the patriarchs, Joseph's dream, and so on. That's on page 150. Page 149 says, in the course of his relations with the Fulani, de Goradon was particularly struck with their peculiar knowledge of Jewish history. So familiar did they speak of the chief Hebrew personalities of the Old Testament, and so well posted were they with the principal events related in it, that they could not argue de Goradon have acquired their knowledge merely through Arabic sources. They referred to those times as though dealing with their own national records. Moses and Abraham might have been individuals of the same race as themselves. In the oral legends, Moses plays a very important part, and although certain passages of the scriptures are transformed or rather assimilated, they have so intense a biblical and Hebraic tone as to exclude all Arabic influence. It continues. De Gordion's conclusions are best given in his own words. It would seem as if the Pools, Fulani, if they themselves did not profess the Jewish faith, which I would rather be disposed to affirm than deny, were at least in permanent contact with the Jewish people in remote times, and that influenced at one time or another by the Israelites. They received Old Testament legends directly from them. That's on page 159 of the book, The Affairs of West Africa. But let's go back to the book, The Lost Tribes of Myth by Alan B. Godfrey. In his chapter here, Berber, Moorish, and Negro Jews, page 245, he says here, let me blow it up for you. He talks about the Yoruba Jews. These Yoruba Jews claim that their ancestors were driven from oasis to oasis by Muslim persecution and not finding rest even when they were reached Timbuktu. It suggests that these ancestors may have been of the Dagaratuns still scattered along the trade routes west of Timbuktu, or of the vanished Jewish kingdom of Kanuri, or of the later trading colony of Landland. At present, they number about 2,000 people in 20 little villages and call themselves by the Hebrew name B'nai Ephraim. They have copies of portions of the Torah kept in a most holy place. We can also look at the map of 1747, which also brings out Jewish colonies, Jewish tribes in West Africa. Let me blow this up for you. We also have the Kingdom of Judah here in the Dahomey region of West Africa, which later became Benin, right next to Nigeria there. So we have that to look to as well. But let's not stop here. We have more. If we go back to Alan Godby's map, 1930 map, we notice here, right next to Nigeria, a region here called Dar Nuba. Dar Nuba there. What is this referring to? Well, he mentions here on page 251 in his book that remnants of a far-traveled African Judaism are found in northern Nigeria among the Hassas and Nupis on the east side of the lower Niger, from 300 to 700 miles from the sea. The survivals are of peculiar interest because they did not reach that region from Berber, North Africa, nor through the contact of European Judaism with the West Coast. They are due to the great expansion of the Nuba or Nubian Empire in Byzantine times. As we saw in the case of Abyssinia, Christianity in Nubia was grafted upon a local Judaism centuries old. Centuries old. What did this area look like 500, 350 years ago prior. Well, look at this map in 1588, the Africa Tablia. In this map, we have the Wolof, we have the Mandingo, we have the Benin. But then look right over here, and this is written in Latin. Let's translate this. Written in Latin, there we have it.